Hi, all you Heather's Hot Topic beauties out there. My name is Krystal from Krystal's Corner, and today I'm going to be showing you how to go from a daytime look to a nighttime look. And I really hope that you guys find this to be educational for you. Maybe you might know some of these tips. Maybe you might already use some of these tips. But I hope that you guys find one thing that you could take with you and use it for yourself to maybe spring up your summer bag or to spring up your summer look. Just remember that everything in your makeup bag is versatile. You can use it for so many different things than what it is. So an eyeliner can be used for something more than just an eyeliner. And I hope that you learned that today. So let's go ahead and get started. So remember I was telling you how an eyeliner can be used as something more than just an eyeliner. So every day I like to use an eyebrow pencil, or you can use an eyebrow pen I like to use this for my brows. So every day I'll use this as something that I'll use for my brows. Like I want to have my brows have definition. You'll want to definitely find yourself which I should have found before I started. Oh, here it is right here. A wand. My wand, I meant to have it before I started, and for some reason it's not up here. I didn't know why it's not up here. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to I normally would first brush out my brows. They do need to be waxed, so do ignore that. So I like to use this brow pen because it does give me that micro bladed kind of look, but also I can fill in those empty spots. But I just like how it gives that like extra, just those strokes, those nice easy strokes that I can get in definition in my brow. So if they're uneven, then I can definitely get them together, if that makes it mean any more sense to you. So I like to use this not only for eyeliner, but I like to use this for my brows. And I like that this is water resistant, so it's going to be great for like on those days where I'm sweaty or I'm hot, or I'm just going to be running around and I don't have a lot of time and space. So I always like to use a setting spray on my face, just because I struggle with combination oily skin. If you do oily skin or dry skin, you need to be using some sort of setting spray or primer, because it's super, super important to always have those, that barrier between your foundation and your skin, right? So I always start out, no matter what, when it's just a casual, regular old day, I like to just throw on a little bit of concealer, light concealer. I just like to throw, I never put a lot of concealer in the eye area because I'm not really trying to accentuate that area any more than what I have to. Just because, let's just be honest here, like I don't want people to look at that area any more than what I want them to. So concealer, which is a highlight, which is what is going to bring things away, contours what is going to bring, or concealer, lightening concealer is what's going to bring things closer, and darker concealer is what things going to bring things back a little bit more for you. So I like to conceal just little portions of the face that I want to remain a little bit lighter, right? And so on those days where I don't need a lot, as you can see, I'm just kind of adding that little bit of lightening to it. Now, as we start to like mature in age, we don't want tons of foundation on our skin, because the more that we start to apply, the more wrinkly we are going to start looking. And we don't want any more room in that department, right? So I'm going to use I like to use a liquid concealer right now, and I will use like a regular foundation too, but I'm using a liquid concealer today for my foundation, which I will blend in a little bit more here as we're going through. I'll show you, but I like to put that first in, and then I'll go through, and then I'll just kind of blend that in, because I don't want a lot for during the day. I just want a little bit of, you know, coverage. I don't want a lot. I just want a little bit of something that says, hey, I'm here. Cover this redness, cover this, whatever you want to call it, thing we call skin, right? Just cover it and be done, right? So that's all I really want to do during the day. Okay, so bada bing, bada boom. I've got that on there. Now, if you're like a bronzer person, you're like, I really want to use like a bronzer. I really like bronzer. What can I do for bronzer? Short, fast, sweet. What can I do? What I like to do is, which is kind of crazy, a lot of people think they're like, what do you use? I actually like to use a lipstick sometimes for a contour. And I like to use this one sometimes. So I will actually occasionally use this as a bronzer, but I will show you guys what I like to do for my eyelids, just for that natural, like everyday look. So when I'm just like going about my business, minding my own business, not doing very much for the day, I like to just throw on this quick little eye gel. I love eye gels. And you'll kind of see here in a little bit why these eye gels are so important to me when I'm going from my day look to my night look. You'll be like, aha, that's why she does it. Now I know why she does that. Sneaky little Krystal. Plus, these are so refreshing to my lids. They're so refreshing. I mean, they feel so good. In the summertime, I just don't feel like using a lot. I don't know if you guys are with me, but like in the summertime, I just feel like, bleh. You know what I mean? Now, if you're one that doesn't like to wear a lot of stuff and you like brown, you are like going for gold, because if you want your lashes to like pop without having to use a lot of shadow, use a neutral brown, because that is going to make that lash pop, because it's neutral and it's going to bring that forward. Okay, so as you can see here, I just have that neutral brown on there. Nothing crazy. It's just on there. It's ready to go. So some would say, hey, I want to do liner. Totally fine. What I would suggest is just find a neutral brown. This one is a shimmery brown. You could do shimmery, or you could do just a matte. I'm going to show you the difference of what I would do day versus night. So day, I would use more of the shimmerier. Okay, it's not as dark. It's not as, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not as bam in your face kind of thing. So for me, it's a little less dramatic. Let me see here. I wanted to show you guys a trick. Okay, so I'm going to just apply this liner and just a little bit to the top of the lid, not a lot, just a little bit. All I did was just go a little bit to the top. All I did was trace that line right in there, okay? And you guys will see here in a little bit why that's kind of super important. And I only go to like right here. Some people go like this far, and I'll show you guys a little bit later how when I change it from a day look to a night look, how that'll be different, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and go on this side. This side is so much harder for me. It's the crap's getting old, right? Now you can tight line too if you want to. Basically it's just going underneath. So it's just basically getting underneath there and getting those nude areas, right? The pink areas. Okay, you can do that too. Okay, so that's how you would kind of do that. Now, if you wanted to, you could just kind of go underneath here. Or what I like to do is take a little tiny brush. Okay, you could just take a little brush and just smoke it in a little bit at the bottom. You don't have to use a lot. Okay, so you got this like little nude, natural kind of thing going on, right? You don't have tons going on. You don't have tons of shadow on. You just got a little smokiness, light little smokiness, nothing huge going. You just got this little light, and you can use dark. I just like to use brown during the day because I feel like it's nuder, like it's just giving off that simplicity, that simple simplicity look. For me personally, that's what I like the most. And then, let's see here. And then I like to go in and, let's see here. This is where I would do my lashes. Now I've already curled my lashes because nobody wants to sit here and watch me my lashes for 10 minutes. So I am going to curl them. Now, some people like to wear falsies, some people don't. So I am going to leave that up to the eyes of the beholder and how you feel like you want to take your day look to your night look, right? Some people want to add the lashes, some people don't want to add the lashes. It's totally a personal preference. So some people may want to have lashes at nighttime. Some people may not want to have lashes at nighttime. But you can see some of my other videos where I do use lashes. It does go like through applications because it does take a little bit of practice to I know I make that funny face when I'm like, am I the only one who does that? And then I like to take a piece of toilet paper if you've never done this before. And I'd like to see how it catches the doggy bag. And catches the doggy bag of mascara underneath there. That's what I like about it. Okay, so remember I was telling you a little bit about contouring. So some people just don't like contouring because they're like, it's way too difficult for me. I don't know where the placement, I don't know where any of that goes, right? So that's why I like to use this lipstick, and I just like to just put it right in here. You don't know. It's simple, fast, easy. You don't have to do a lot. You just throw it on there. You take a brush and you just blend it in. Okay? All we're doing is just blending it in. Okay, so you're just giving yourself a little bit of color. You're not having to do tons to yourself. This is just if you really want to offer yourself something. Now, the reason why I put it down here is because I really want to chisel my chin. Now, a lot of people are like, okay, foundation wise, how do you match? So I have a specific like quiz that I have that goes through all that. It's not something that I just look at your wrist or whatever. I have to go through like your face, neck, and chest just to kind of match, because people are looking at you like visually this whole way, right? So it takes me a little bit. I have to get like your before, or get a picture of your face from like your chest up. And then it helps me to kind of know your features, your skin tone, whether you burn or tan. So then I know exactly, especially with summer coming around, pulling like reds and olives and all that stuff. But do you see how easy that was to do that contour without having to be like a professional? And you can just use a lipstick. I just used a plain old Jane lipstick, right? A plain old Jane lipstick. Okay. And then I like to just use a plain old Jane little cutesy patootie cutie pie blush on my no makeup days. Okay, you see that? Throw that on there. And then I like to use it as lip too. Hope you guys are still with me. I'm not losing you. And then I just want to toss on a lip plumper. I love myself a good lip plumper. Okay, so everyday look, everyday plain Jane. Now, I know for some people this may still be a lot. You don't have to go as far as I did. Maybe you just want to do mascara. Maybe you just want to do maybe you just want to do your brows. You can do this everyday look however you want to do it. It can be everyday however you choose to do it. I'm just showing you steps in which you can take, okay? And then I always seal my looks with a setting spray. So now I'm going to try to take you guys into showing you how to move it into an evening look using the same products. Okay, so you don't have to go out and buy all these fancy things, and maybe they're things that you currently have at home. Okay, so one of the first things is we're obviously going to keep the same brow. We don't have to really worry about that, but let's say you've been all day at the office. You can go in. You want to just go in and you want to, you know, paint those suckers in again, right? You want to go in and paint them in again? Okay, now, remember we used the eyeliner. So we used that liner. Let me find it here so I can. Okay, so we used this liner, right? But we used the shimmery side. So now I'm going to flip this bad boy over, and I'm actually going to use the darker brown. So if you look here, these are actually water resistant, and that's why I like them, because I tend to have very watery eyes. And so unfortunately I tend to, my mascaras and my eyeliners will tend to run if I don't use something that's not water resistant. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do to take this little tiny look right here, but I'm going to turn it into something a little bit more little bit more fancy. Now, I don't expect you guys to have anything super special at home, anything special. I'm going to show you guys something that I do at home. It's super easy. And you may or may not have these around. You may have sticky notes around your house. You may not have sticky notes around your house. You may have makeup tape around your house. You may not have makeup tape around your house. I do not. So I use this. Okay, this is what I use. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to take this little liner right here, and I'm just going to take a little bit of it right there. And I'm just going to smoke it out a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to pop it out there just a little bit. I'm just going to do this side. Okay. Oh. This side is always so much harder for me because this side is always so much harder for me. There we go. Let me do this side a little bit more now. Sorry, you guys can't see me very well, but I'm just doing the... I'm just using the one that we used for the brows instead. I decided to use that. So do you see how it went from a day look? And it gave it a little bit more oomph. I'm always so critical of my wings. I don't know why. I'm always so critical. Anybody else critical? So critical. Now, remember I told you we didn't go as far on the with the liner. So I'm going to show you guys kind of what I do. Now I feel like this side is uneven. There we go. I just need to... There we go. So what I like to do is I like to take this liner right in here, and I like to just put it in the middle there. Now it does tickle. I won't lie, it does tickle. So it goes right there. I just put it right there in that inner corner. Okay. Now, if you don't want to use that one, you don't have to. You could go back and just use this brown here, which I have no problem using the brown there. It's just that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually take that brown liner and I'm going to really smoke it in there. So I'm really smoking it out in here. Okay, and so I'm gonna get my brush here. Here it is. Now, if you really don't like to use brown, you can use black. That's an option as well. You can also take a shadow if you want to. Do you see how it kind of just changed that? You can take a shadow on top of it if you want to. That'll really smoke it out. So do you see how that, I just like to gradually add because it's easier to add than it is to take away, right? So do you see like the difference there? Okay. And like I said, you could go so much deeper, darker with this. I'm just showing you guys just the surface. And maybe to some of you, again, maybe you want to use black liner. Maybe you want to use brown liner. Who knows? Maybe for you, a going out night look is not using liner. Maybe you just want to use shadow. It's whatever, it is whatever you want it to be, right? It is whatever you feel is best for you, okay? And however you want it. So I'm just gonna smoke it out again. So as you can see, it's starting to get a little bit more smokier. It's supposed to be getting in a little bit darker. And then I'm just gonna take this little brown color here. Let me get it for you. Just this light little brown, okay? And I'm just gonna use it to go into the inner corner of my lid right in here where that liner is. And I'm just gonna put it on top of where that eyeshadow is. Okay, I'm not gonna do tons. Okay. If you want to, you can blend it out with your eyeshadow brush if you want to. You don't have to. When I'm doing this, I don't do tons of eyeshadow because I'm like, I like to keep it simple. Some people don't like to do a lot of eyeshadow. I do have some pretty advanced like going out looks you can check out on my page if you wanted to do that. What I like to do, especially when I'm transitioning into a nighttime routine, I like to go ahead and highlight more, a little bit more. So I'll go in and I'll really like to go in and pull out some of those special features. And so I will go and I will, sometimes I'll just use a beauty blender, okay? Because this helps a little bit more. I'll take the beauty blender and I will just blend it right in here because it's gonna make that wing just pop more, okay? And then I'm just going to okay, so do you kind of see how it's okay? I'm gonna go in here, right in here. And I'm not using tons, so don't use tons of concealer underneath your eye. It's not necessary. You don't want to use tons because we don't want you to look like a we don't want you to look like a glowing tree, right? I like to take a little bit of the concealer and I like to just put it right here in the middle. With my finger. just to lighten it a little bit. And I'll show you guys why I like to do that here in just a second. Okay, so I like to just use the lightener right in here. You're like, what are you doing to that? You are ruining it. No, I am not. I will show you why I'm doing it here in just a second. But I do need to blend it in better. Okay, so I usually will put concealer down before I put on like another color of some sort, right? So I'm going to take like a goldish color. Since I'm going out, I want it to be goldish looking, right? So I want to make it, I want it to really pop. So when people look at me, they're like, oh, wow. I'm going to just take my brush here and I'm going to blend it in right in there. So if you look here, you can kind of see it. Get my I like to take a highlighter as well and just kind of highlight that area. Highlighting is just so, can just do so many things for a look. It can just completely change everything. And I like to just go in here and just do a little bit of highlight right in there. A little bit right in there. Okay, there's that for there. And then I'm going to blend that a little bit more. And then I'm going to put on some darker blush. Okay, so I'm going to go in with a darker blush. It's the same creamy. Okay, but I'm getting a little bit more pizzazz to it, right? So I'm making it a little bit more darker, making it a little darker. Now, here's the thing. If you wanted it to be a lot more bronzy, if you wanted a lot more bronze to it, you can. What I would do is I would just, where's that one that I just had? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I just had a palette. Oh, here's one. So I'm going to go ahead and take an actual bronzer. And I'm going to actually define that a little bit more. And I'm going to just bronze in right in here. But I'm going to make sure I go in there. Now, you can see here I have grays, right? I'll be getting my hair colored next week. Typically, I'll take my my mascara, and I will take my mascara, my old mascara, and I will just plop that in there. So if you guys have never heard of that before, do you see how it's already starting to cover that? I would do that, but I just washed my hair today, so I'm not gonna worry about that. But yeah, take an old mascara, waterproof mascara, just plop it out like that. And you can just, I'll show you right there. See how it starts to cover it? Yeah. Or you can just use regular old plain Jane root cover up if you want to. It just depends what you want to use. It's whatever you want to use. Whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and use a darker a darker lip. So I'm going to show you guys how you can go for like a more smokier, what's this? What the heck? Oh, here we go. So I'm going to show you guys how you can do like a night medium lip, and then you can do a night like really standing out lip. Okay, so I'm using this color right here. I have been into just liners, like loving liners, because they're so fast, simple, they're easy. You don't have to do a lot with it. You can just take it, go. You don't have to worry about tugging a lot of stuff with you. And then just using a quick little lip balm with it, or lip gloss with it. This is one of my favorite lip glosses with it. And I like to just go in the middle there. So that's the first one that I like to do. Now, the second one, I'm going to take this off here so you guys can see it. The second one, I absolutely love the second one. Okay, so for some it may be too, it may be too bright, but it's one of my favorites. It is gonna, it's gonna be bright, okay? And some people don't like bright, which is fine, right? You don't have to always like everything. So right now I'm doing so I showed you kind of like an intermediate lip, and now I'm doing more of a ombre look, ombre look for you. Okay. And so I'm just taking a light concealer. So as you saw, I lined it. I left like the middle part, puckered it, whatever. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to make a mess. And then I like to just go back in. Now, I'm not done, so don't be scared. Don't be alarmed. I always go back in. And now when I line, I always go this way. Okay, guys, I always go up. You're like, why? Because if you don't and you go like this, you're going to overline your lips. And when you overline your lips, right? Right? Okay, let me get a liner for it, or a lip gloss for you guys. That'll go well. So here we go. Okay, guys, so that would, and then obviously, well, not obviously, but I would then go in with my translucent powder, especially if I was going out for the evening, just making sure everything was nice and covered. Translucent powder is my friend. I think of translucent powder as like putting it down on a sheet, you know, before you start rolling dough to keep it from like sticking. Does that make sense? So I like to use that on my face before I set it because it's going to be that extra layer of protection on my face. So that is what I love to do, going from a day to night look. Thank you, all of you guys that joined in today from this evening and coming to Krystal's Corner. So hopefully some of these tips were great for you guys. And again, you can catch me on my Facebook page. And thank you for joining Krystal's Corner. Have a good evening. Bye.